Hi Smurf friends, so good to be able to send out another video to you. Happy Friday, and I hope that you enjoyed the parade if you went. I did not go, so I apologize for not being able to see you guys. Hopefully we'll be able to see each other soon. But we are going to talk about forest animals today. So the three animals I want to talk about are owls, squirrels, and black bears. And I'm going to talk about each individually, and then at the end I'm going to read a really short story about some flowers and the different elements outside, so it's windy or if it's rainy or snowy. So this is a little short story about that, because flowers, you can find flowers in the forest. Even wildflowers live in the forest. But it's raining a lot right now, and the flowers are starting to bloom. So this story is something that definitely explains maybe why the flowers haven't bloomed yet. Anyway, so we are going to start with owls. So let's get started. Okay, friends, so owls. Owls are a special type of animal. They're called nocturnal animals. Now, nocturnal animals means they're asleep during what and awake during what? They're asleep during the day and awake at night. Now, take a minute and think of other animals that are nocturnal. Some lions hunt at night. Skunks, raccoons, possums, they're all nocturnal as well. Did you know that a group of owls is called a parliament? Now, when I think parliament, I think royal or the royal family over in England, not owls. So most owls have really, really big eyes and a really, really flat face, and that helps them to be able to see their prey and to be able to fly faster. Now, to get their prey, they use something called their talons. Now, their talons are basically just big claws, and they're really, really strong and powerful. Moving on to squirrels. Now, squirrels are considered rodents. That's along with hamsters, gerbils, rats, mice. But there's also 280 different species of squirrels. That's a lot of species, a lot of different species. Now, squirrels are usually, at least the squirrels around here, are usually small, and they have big eyes and big bushy tails, and these eyes help them climb trees. They move very quickly. And I know you guys see them out on the playground when we're outside or when we're inside and you look out the window. But another thing they usually eat is nuts, fruits, and seeds. And our tree in the playground, it drops nuts for the squirrel. So that's why our playground has a bunch of squirrels when we're not there. Squirrels are born blind. And they get their sight a couple weeks after their birth. So very much like, who is our other animal? Dogs. Flying squirrels can't really fly, but they do glide between trees. They have an extra flaps of skin underneath each arm. Next, we have brown bears. Now, brown bears aren't always just brown. Some are cream colored or lighter, or a black color. Now, if they're black, that doesn't make them black bears. One big difference between the two is brown bears are a lot bigger. A lot bigger. I'm talking like 1,000 pounds bigger. So brown bears are also known as grizzly bears, and we don't have any in this area. We do have some black bears, though. Brown bears are considered omnivores, so they eat pretty much anything, which is good because when they can't find something, grass will always do, I guess. Now, brown bears, this is where I enjoy a brown bear. They like to dig cozy caves. They use their long claws and they dig a little cozy cave. And that's where the mama bear will have her babies, and that's where they'll sleep during the winter. The Celebration, a Native American folk tale adapted by Jean Warren. Tiny Flower pushed her head up through the ground. Was she too early for the party? No, for as she looked around, she saw many flowers just arriving. During the long, cold winter months, Tiny Flower had been waiting and preparing for her journey to the land of the light. She had dreamed about how tall she would grow and how beautiful and colorful her gown of soft petals would be. It had been a long wait and a tiring struggle up through the frozen ground, but it was worth it. Here she was, emerging into the promised light, surrounded by her friends and anxious for the party to begin. Mother Nature was also anxious. The flowers kept arriving, but not one had taken off its coat. Everyone knew the celebration could not begin until the flowers shed their coats, filling the world with color. "Oh dear," sighed Mother Nature. "We can't have a party if everyone is all bundled up. Oh, what shall I do?" Then Mother Nature called for her children, the wind, the rain, and the sun. "Help me, children. Go and greet the flowers and see if you can persuade them to take off their coats." "I will get the flowers to remove their coats," said the wind, and out he went to greet the flowers. He blew and blew as hard as he could, hoping to trick them by blowing off their coats. But the harder he blew, the tighter they wrapped up. Finally, the wind gave up and went back to tell his mother that they might as well call off the celebration this year. "Don't worry, Mother," said the rain. "We will have our celebration. I can get the flowers to flowers to remove their coats." So out went the rain to greet the flowers. His plan was to rain so hard that the flowers could get their coats completely soaked and would have to take them off to dry. Down, down came the showers, but the flowers only wrapped up tighter and tighter. Seeing that his plan was not going to work, the rain had finally gave up and went back to his mother. He also suggested that they give up on the party plans. "Let me try," said the sun. "I'll go out and greet the flowers, and perhaps persuade them to take off their coats." So the sun went out and welcomed the flowers with his warmth. Slowly the flowers warmed up. They peeked out their heads, stretched their arms, and smiled at the sun. Soon the flowers grew warmer and warmer, and finally they became so hot they tossed off their coats. "Let the party begin," Mother Nature said, as the world gradually burst into color. All the animals rushed to greet the flowers, the birds sang songs of greetings, and the bees did dances of welcome. Tiny Flower was delighted with the land of the light. It was even more wonderful than she had imagined. She felt like a queen with so many new friends, a crown of gold, and a gown of green velvet. Tiny Flower even grew to love the wind and the rain. They soon found out that it was more fun being nice to the flowers than playing tricks on them. Tiny Flower enjoyed playing with the wind, and she found the rain refreshing. But most of all, she loved the sun for his warmth and his sunny smile. It's so sad to see another video end, but I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll be able to see you guys on Tuesday. So let's make sure that we have our good listening ears on for our mommies and daddies this weekend, and we be big, big helpers, and just be very nice to each other. Have a good weekend, everybody.